It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy. Coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Thanks for doing the call, Roy. Let me ask you this. When you look ahead to the All-Star race, you know, you have several different philosophies. There's a lot of money on the line, a lot of pride, not a points race. Cars are tore up. How do you look at the All-Star race, Roy?
Nice to hear from you, Claire. But the All-Star race to our team is a like you said, it's a bit of a pride thing. We want to you know, be a winner. We've won it before. We want to win it again. Not only is there a lot of cash on the line, as you brought up, but I also look at it as a bit of a test for the 600. We might try some things in the race in race trim and stuff that we wouldn't normally try on a regular weekend because we don't have time or there's points at stake. So the conservatism kind of goes out the window, and we get really aggressive with our setups. We get really aggressive with how we attack practice and qualifying, and with the integration of the pit stop, obviously it's a chance for the whole team to sort of you know, be aggressive, pit crew and car and road crew.
So when you look at it as a crew chief, the cars being torn up and that sort of thing, is that then something that is hard for a crew chief to understand sometimes?
Well, nobody wants to wreck race cars, and we certainly don't want to do that this weekend at all. Ideally, we always hope that we take a brand new car to the All-Star race, and you know, it's the best we could put together at that point. And if it performs well in the All-Star race, we typically like to turn it around and take it right back to the 600. That's, in my mind, that's really why we don't want to tear up race cars. But you know, some guys will get a little aggressive and be out of bounds and have some accidents. But certainly we hope we're not one of them. And I would really like to win the All-Star race and take the same car right back the next week.
Thank you, Roy.
Once again, that is *1 to ask a question. Next, we will hear from Rusty Baldwin from NASCAR.
Hey, Roy. Also, again, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it. Let's first talk about Lowe's. It's coming up. Y'all tested there, a week ago, I guess it was. Yeah, tell us what you learned.
May 5th and 6th.
I know you don't want to tell me what you learned there, but tell me what kind of an idea of what you were able to find out and what you do expect over the next 2 weeks here at Charlotte.
Well, the test at Charlotte was a good opportunity to evaluate some of our race setups that and a chance to work on them for a couple days on the tire that we're going to run at Charlotte, which Goodyear did a great job. The right side and left side tires look great. I think it's going to actually be somewhat competitive. I think you're going to have guys doing some passing on the high side, some guys being brave and trying to get it done on the low side. So hopefully, you know, the test adds some competition. Got people a little bit more comfortable with the track and the tire. The tire's still, you know, a little hard, but definitely an improvement over the past. I think the drivers were able to get more comfortable with running a COT car there, and also just a simple fact of the crew chiefs getting to spend some more time working on their race cars. In that respect, it was a welcome test. You know, from the rookie side of things, I think it's great that the rookies got a chance to drive there before they had to go, you know, qualify at night and run a COT there for the first time. So there were some benefits. I don't know that I see much point in testing in the fall, when Charlotte was originally on the schedule. So hopefully we can, you know, NASCAR will modify that in the long term. But it was a good week for sure.
Obviously, this is an exciting week for all teams, drivers, and fans. All-Star race, the Pit Crew Challenge. We talked a little earlier about your team last year. You just talk about the morale around the shop and how your guys are ready to go to defend that title, and have they spent a little extra time this week preparing?
Yeah, they've definitely spent some more time preparing to defend the Pit Crew title because I haven't been able to find them. So they're out back in the training area, probably more than they should be. Might be a little more amped up than they should be, but there's some work that's not getting done in the shop because I think they're training to do the competition. So the competition's become quite an event in and of itself in their minds, and all our minds too. The morale's very high. You know, we have a very good pit crew. the guys do a fantastic job, and you know, they're working very hard on definitely certain aspects of the competition to make sure that they're hopefully repeat winners.
Let me ask you this as well. We talk a lot about driver crew chief and how you work together and how you gel and the chemistry. And I think Darlington was a good example. We saw crew chief saying, you know, slow down, take it easy, stay off the wall. And in Phoenix was a great example. With your drivers and Ryan's your connection and how y'all work together and how important that is for y'all's relationship.
Yeah, I mean the driver crew chief relationship is important in any form of racing. I think the quarterback head coach relationship is just as important in football. But from our standpoint, Ryan does a fantastic job. Obviously, the best thing about Ryan is he's a consummate professional. He has a lot of respect for the team, and any good relationship is always built on mutual respect. And certainly, you know, I've had a lot of success with him, and we talk on very even terms as far as I can say, you know, what I think to him, and it might not be what he wants to hear, but he certainly is, you know, smart enough to realize there's different opinions, and he has the respect for everybody's opinion. And at the end of the day, we make our decisions together, and we go up and we go down together, and that's nice because we're both comfortable with that situation, and we both realize that you know, we're both sitting at the same poker table. Well, I do consider Dover my home track, just so you know, and I'm always excited to go there. We have had a lot of success there as a company. I think Ryan, he has 4 wins there in Cup and 1 win in Busch, and I can't even count the number of poles. So we've always had good success there. I'd like to win one for Altel there as a team. Like I said, it's a lot of home pride, so to speak. It's about an hour and a half away from where I grew up. I know Ryan loves the track. We had a good car in Bristol this year, which is a little bit of a forerunner to Dover, but not exactly. So we're looking forward to it. And you know, I think a lot of other teams are going to show up loaded for bear as well. But you know, Dover's a funny place. You show up on Friday, there's no rubber on the track, and you can be good on Friday, and all of a sudden on Sunday, once the track rubber's up, you can be in a world of hurt if you're not careful. So Dover's very much not only a thinking man's track from the driver's standpoint, but also from the crew's standpoint. Pocono is a test that, you know, we as crew chiefs voted on. Some voted for it, some didn't vote for it. It's a different type of track, and I believe that's why it got put on the schedule. It's not like any place else that we go. If anything, it's a little bit similar to the Brickyard, just like you mentioned, and certainly there are some things that we will test at Pocono that to be applicable to the Brickyard. I won't say that the exact magnitudes of, say, the spring rates or the sway bar or the shocks will be exact, but the trend with which you achieve your setup will certainly be the same for the Brickyard. So magnitudes might not be the same, the numbers might not be the same, but the trends by which you guide the setup of the car by will be. So Pocono is a decent little forerunner to the Brickyard. Indianapolis is classically very hard to test due to the way the tires wear. Indianapolis has a diamond cut surface, which tends to chew tires up at a ferocious pace, and makes it very difficult to test. You know, we have to go off a lot of history there, and Pocono, on the other hand, is you know, fairly nice to the tires, and we can get a lot done. So I think that's how it ended up playing out like it did as far as scheduling goes.